What's up, millennials? In this video I'm going to tell you exactly what I have done with Switchback Energy and what my future plans are for this stock. But before I talk about Switchback Energy, I would like to quickly talk about my other videos, my stock o'clock videos. These are very short videos, daily videos, that I upload every day from Monday to Friday with news in 1 minute about the stock market. So definitely check those videos out. Okay, so let's talk about Switchback Energy, right? Because I've made several videos about Switchback Energy already. I've made a video, for example, about the valuation. And in that valuation video, I said that there were some additional tailwinds as well that might even bump up the price of Switchback Energy or of ChargePoint in the future. A few of these tailwinds were, for example, the fossil fuel car bans, which are going to happen in the United Kingdom in 2030. Also in California in 2035. We also saw, for example, that Biden has become president in the United States, of course, and he is trying to push the electrification of our vehicles. So that's probably good for ChargePoint as well. And we've also seen the arrival of a new SPAC that is going to focus on electric buses. So I think all these additional tailwinds actually make that Switchback Energy is actually, well, I'm not sure if it's undervalued right now, but I would say that it does increase the actual valuation of ChargePoint itself, right? So what do you think? What do you think about the fair valuation of ChargePoint? Let me know in the comments. And then I also made a video about why I sold some Switchback Energy shares. I posted that video a while ago, and I'm going to put both of these videos, so the valuation video and the video about why I sold my shares, in the cards in the upper right corner of this video. So right here on the screen, I've shown all my trades so far for Switchback Energy. In the beginning, I bought 150 shares for an average price of $15.75. And then on the 24th of November, I sold 30 shares for $38.75. And I also sold an additional 20 shares for $35.53. So in total, I sold 50 shares, which at that point was 1/3 of my position. So after the moment when I sold my shares, the price has actually come down quite a bit. And now, as we speak, as I'm recording this video, the price seems to be moving back up, right? So so far I've bought a few shares back. In total, I've bought 30 shares back in total. And I'm not sure if I'm actually going to add more, because Switchback Energy right now is already my largest position by quite a bit. It's already like 40% more than my second largest position. So I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to add more in the future, unless it goes back down a lot again in the future, right? So as you can see on the screen, I bought back 10 shares on the 1st of December. I bought back 10 shares at a price of $30.07. And a day later, on the 2nd of December, I bought an additional 20 shares for a price of $25.05. So I'm going to now explain why I bought at these prices, okay? Why I bought at these price levels. And to explain that, we are going to hop into the charts into TradingView, which is the website that I'm using for charting my stocks, right? But TradingView, by the way, is free to use for everyone. There are some paid options, but you don't usually need that one. So TradingView is a very good tool. So to decide when I wanted to buy my shares, I basically used one indicator that has multiple variations. And that indicator is the Exponential Moving Average, also in abbreviation EMA, right? EMA stands for Exponential Moving Average. On my chart, I've got 4 exponential moving averages. I've got the 8, 13, 21, and 55 exponential moving averages. And these EMAs, these exponential moving averages, are these colored lines. So the yellow line over here, the blue line over here, the purple line, and the white line. The 8 daily exponential moving average, I'm just going to call them EMA for short. The 8 daily EMA is the yellow line, the 13 daily EMA, the blue line, the 21 EMA, the purple line, and the 55, the white line, okay? Now, what does that all mean? Well, right now we're on the daily chart, right? And as I've said, the yellow line is the 8 daily exponential moving average. What does that mean? Well, this line basically indicates the average price of the last 8 days in this case, because we are on a daily chart. But it's an exponential moving average. It's not just a normal moving average. And that means that this line gives more weight, more importance to the last couple of days instead of the first couple of days. Because, well, the most recent price action is, of course, more relevant than the older price action, right? Okay, so then you have the blue line, the 13 EMA, which is the average price of the last 13 days, then the 21 average of the last 21 days, and the 55 average of the last 55 days. And the thing was, there wasn't a lot of price action at these levels in the history of this price action chart, right? To reference to for support levels, because usually if the price goes a little bit like horizontal, you have support and resistance lines that you can use as reference lines. But in this case, we didn't have a lot of price action going on over here. So that's the reason why I simply said, okay, I'm going to use the exponential moving averages to determine the levels where I'm going to buy some shares back. And I wanted to buy back in slowly. I didn't want to buy everything back at once, right? It's almost like dollar cost averaging. You just buy a little bit by little, and not just everything at once. So the first level I was looking at when all this started was the 8 daily EMA, the yellow line in this case. And when I was looking at this on the 1st of December, this line was around $31. But right after the market opened, it actually continued to sell off a little bit, right? So I waited until it looked like the price was actually going to be a little bit more stable, and then I bought my 10 shares at $30 per share. So that was the reason of my first buy, right? And the next level that I was looking at was the 13 daily exponential moving average, so the blue line. And that was looking to be at $28. But the thing is, if we zoom in a little bit, if we go to the 15-minute chart, which is a lower time frame, of course, we can see that there was a massive gap between the 1st of December and the 2nd of December. It sold off a lot between these days. And personally, I cannot trade before the market opens or after the market closes. So I always need to wait until the market actually is open in order to be able to trade, right? So the thing is, if we zoom out a little bit again, let's see over here, daily, we can see that the daily or the 13 daily EMA was around $28, right? But if we go to the 15-minute chart, we zoomed past the $28 level, which is good news for me, of course, because, well, we ended up way lower. And the question is, where did we end up right after market opened? Well, around $25, which was right over here. If we zoom back out to the daily chart, we can see that $25 was actually the level of the 21 daily exponential moving average. So when I saw that, I simply bought 20 more shares at that price level at $25. Then the question arises, now what? What am I going to do right now? Well, as I said earlier in this video, I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to add more shares, because Switchback Energy or ChargePoint is already my largest position by far. Right now, we're actually trading above the 8 daily exponential moving average, so above this yellow line. We're now trading at $31 more or less. And I'm not sure if we're going to go a lot lower than this. We could go back a little bit, maybe to the 13 daily EMA or something like that. But I'm not entirely sure if we're actually going to go a lot lower. Now, if we do go back to the 28 and 21 EMA, for example, so the purple line, which would be around $26 right now because it goes up right now, right? I'll probably continue to add more shares though, because yeah, the risk-reward ratio for me is just a little bit too attractive, even though it's still my largest position, right? Now, personally, I think that we might actually start consolidating here in this range, just like I saw at Hyliion, for example. If you go to the chart of Hyliion, we saw that right after the massive run upwards, which you could compare to Switchback right now, we had a massive run upwards. Then we had a pretty big correction over here. And then we started consolidating in this range. So we just went sideways a little bit, right? And I kind of have the feeling that the same could actually happen with Switchback Energy. That we could start to go a little bit horizontal until the day of the merger. Because if we go back to Hyliion, for example, I believe the merger was actually on the 28th of September, something like that. I'm not entirely sure. So up until that date, the price just started consolidating around, well, $50 more or less. And then after the merger ended, it started to sell off massively, which, by the way, is not something that I expect to happen in the case of Switchback Energy. So, in short, I had 150 shares, then I sold 1/3 of my position at around $37.50 in average, and then I bought back some shares, 10 shares at $30 and 20 shares at $25 because of the exponential moving averages. Right now, I'm just sitting back, relaxing, and enjoying the ride. And what I'm going to do is probably not adding more shares because it's already my largest position. But if it does actually go down to the 21 daily exponential moving average, which currently is trading around $26, then I will actually start adding more shares. Now, before you leave, what are your plans with Switchback Energy before the merger? Are you going to buy more? Are you going to sell more? Are you going to wait until the merger has happened? Let me know in the comments. Okay, with that being said, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. Stay safe and bye-bye.